Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mayor's Night Out in the 2nd District. I want to thank Bishop Noel Institute for hosting today. Could you give it up for Bishop Noel? Principal Lorenza Jera Pastrick and President Paul Mullaney. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. And as we do for every Mayor's Night Out, we start off with the host councilman. So let's give it up to our councilman, 2nd District Councilman Alfonso Salinas.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I want to start off by saying a very happy birthday to my mother. Today's her birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. I know she's not here, but she is watching online. So happy birthday to you, Mom. I love you very much. So there's a lot of excitement surrounding Hammond right now, and I'm not just talking about the Chicago Bears. I believe that a lot of the momentum coming out of Hammond is because of Hammond's 2nd District, our downtown area specifically. I just want to go into a few of the projects and just please bear with me here. Our Roberts Impact Lab is a co-op between Purdue and the Quantum Corridor, and that's going to be kicking off here sometime later this year. We have our economic development team that's spearheaded by the one and only Mr. Juan Moreno and his team. They're working diligently to bring new businesses into our 2nd District at the Mercantile Bank and as well as 475 Fayette Street. Our bank building in downtown Hammond is currently fully occupied. The reserve portion of that bank establishment is a rental space, and it's beautiful. It's ready for anyone's big event, so please look into it, the reserve at the bank. We have our train station groundbreaking coming up on Tuesday. That's our $10 million groundbreaking on this Tuesday for our South Shore expansion. That's coming up. We have a farmed and foraged farmers market coming up in May. And throughout the city, we have, throughout the 2nd District, there are other projects such as we have a $27 million rehab. We have a $27 million rehab and upgrades coming to the Renaissance Towers on Soul Street. We have a first phase of our Columbia Park upgrades, which includes bathrooms and the pavilion upgrades, thanks to Ms. Owana Miller and Jim Talon for helping with those upgrades. And overall, I just want to remind everyone that without the panel of people up here today, a lot of projects, a lot of assistance, a lot of help throughout the city wouldn't be possible because they're the ones that actually step out and do the work, hit the ground running, help us all, and make sure that our issues all get taken care of. And just as I finished my last Mayor's Night Out, I want to finish this one the same way, and I want to say that we have to support local business. We have to remember that, when we're going out to eat, a lot of these establishments rely on us to frequent their establishments, such as Eaton Downtown Hammond. We have La Hacienda Azteca. We have Taco Riel. We got Bob's Shrimp. The list goes on and on. So please keep them in mind when next time you're going out, taking your family out to eat, because they definitely would appreciate your support. Again, just want to say it's Hammond first all the time. Thank you all for coming out.
Councilman? Can I clarify just a couple dates? Next Tuesday is the $1 billion or $1.5 billion I heard today, Monon expansion. That's what's in.
Correct.
But our groundbreaking is tentatively scheduled for April 10th for the $10 million downtown. Yeah.
Thanks, Councilman Al Salinas. Give it up for Al, everybody. Thanks for coming to Mayor's Night Out, everybody. As we usually do when we get started at Mayor's Night Out, we introduce our department heads. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our department heads, and after that, we have a special ceremony. It'll only take a couple minutes, so please stick with me. We're going to give out a vaunted key to the city today. So you guys, it doesn't happen very often, so please stick around so we can recognize a Hammond resident that deserves this honor. So let's start off introducing the department heads.
Hi, Chris Campbell, Information Technology.
Chris Sacalaris, Legal Aid Clinic.
Megan Flores, City Controller.
Jim Talon, Park Department.
Juan J. Moreno, Economic Development.
Carmen Paniagua, Housing Authority.
Sharon Daniels, College Bound and Personnel.
Bernie Grasilia, Hammond Fire.
Dean Button, Engineering. Jaime Prieto, Water.
Ann Taylor, Planning and Development.
Kevin Smith, Corporation Counsel.
Scott Miller, Chief of Staff.
Ron Novak, Environmental Management.
Brian Poland, City Planning.
Jeff Long, Police Department.
Andrea Lewis, United Neighborhoods, Inc.
Owana Miller, Community Development.
Bob Vale, Building Department.
Felix Gonzalez, Public Works.
Jack Smith, Sewer Maintenance.
Mylon Krasinski, Sanitary District.
Bill Luter, Code Enforcement.
Kelly Kearney, Inspections Department.
Jeff Smith, Port Authority.
Alex Tahura, Constituent Services.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. I have the department heads here every meeting, just in case the question you ask, I don't know the answer to, and then I got the people right here that could help us solve those problems. So thanks for coming to Mayor's Night Out, everybody. It's great to see you all. If anybody's been paying attention to city government, particularly the Hammond Police Department, knows that we're undergoing a chief transition right now. We've had the same chief of police for quite a while now, Andy Short, and Andy had a drop date, we knew, and before you know it, the drop date's upon us. Andy, at the end of this month, is going to be transitioning out, and we wanted to call him forward and recognize him. So, Andy Short, can you please come forward? Chief Andy Short. All right, I got a bunch of nice words we're going to say about Andy, but I wanted Andy to come forward and look at everybody staring at him with adulation while I'm reading this off. So, Andy, we're going to miss you. Appreciate you. But let me go ahead and start off with this. Good evening, everybody. It's truly an honor to stand before you today as we celebrate a remarkable leader, a dedicated public servant, and a man whose impact on this city will be felt for generations, Chief William Andy Short. Chief Short's career with the Hammond Police Department spans more than 3 decades, beginning on September 16, 1988. Over the years, Andy rose through the ranks with dedication and determination, serving as a first-class patrolman, a second-class patrolman, corporal, sergeant, lieutenant, assistant chief, and ultimately the chief of police. Along the way, Andy took on a wide range of assignments that speak to both his versatility and his commitment to public safety. Andy served as a patrol officer, a K-9 handler, a member of the Bike Patrol Unit, and a SWAT officer, roles that require courage, discipline, and a deep sense of duty. Andy also worked within the Special Deployment Division, where he served in the Gang and Narcotics Unit, and was selected to serve on the DEA's HIDA Task Force in Lake County, an assignment that reflects the high level of trust placed in Andy's abilities. In addition, he dedicated 5 years to the Internal Affairs Division, helping uphold the integrity and professionalism of the Hammond Police Department. In 2016, Chief Short made history when he was appointed as the first African-American Assistant Chief of Police in the Hammond Police Department. Just a few years later, on January 8, 2021, Chief Short reached the highest rank in the Hammond Police Department when he was appointed Chief of Police, again, making history as the first African-American to hold that position in the city of Hammond's history. Even beyond his police service, Chief Short demonstrated his commitment to the city of Hammond. In 1984, he served as a police dispatcher. And in 1985, Andy worked for the Parks Department, both as a security guard and a truck driver, always willing to serve in whatever capacity needed. Tonight, as we reflect on a career defined by leadership, service, and integrity, it is only fitting that we honor him in a meaningful way. The key to the city is one of the highest honors we can bestow. It represents trust, appreciation, and the enduring connection between a leader and the community they have so faithfully served. Chief Short, on behalf of the city of Hammond, it's my great privilege and honor to present you with this key to the city. May this key serve as a symbol of our deepest gratitude for your decades of service your historic achievements, and the lasting legacy you leave behind. Congratulations, Chief, and thank you for everything you've done for the city of Hammond. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring Chief William Andy Short.
Wow, what can you say behind that? First, give honor to God, who's the head of my life, and I hope he's the head of yours. Not too many people can say that they started their career with the father and ended this chapter with the son, Thomas M. McDermott. To my family, friends, I want to say thank you. To the HPD Nation, love you. Couldn't have did this without you guys. Thank you very much.
For those that aren't aware, Chief Long's partner throughout the entire career, basically, at the Hammond Police Department, Jeff Long. The Long and his partner. It's going to be sad when we don't have Chief Andy coming in City Hall all the time. He's a great chief. He did a great job. It's going to be big shoes to fill. Chief Long, good luck with filling those shoes, Chief. You know, so. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start off before we get into questions. Reminder for Mayor's Night Out, this is triggered by the written question. So when you walked in, you saw Noemi and you saw Christy, who are over there. They have written questions. Please fill out a written questionnaire. We ask that you put your address and name on there, but you don't have to. The only reason we ask you to do that is so we can follow it up, okay? If some people aren't comfortable doing that and they just fill it out, that's fine. We'll read it off and we won't be able to follow it up, but we'll try to do it up here. I do thank the elected officials that come out to Mayor's Night Out. It's always nice to see them. And I know one of them is on the ballot right now. He's running, and I want to thank Adrian Santos. Good to see you, North Township trustee. Thank you. Another one on the ballot right now is North Township Advisory Board, Peter Kadick. Good to see you, Peter. Appreciate you being there. I noticed he's not an elected official, but he was my chief of staff for a long time. He's running the South Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau. Give it up for Phil Talon, wherever you are in here. Good to see you, Phil. And then my boss is the Hammond City Council. I appreciate them being here, starting with your councilman, Councilman Al Salinas. Thank you very much, Councilman. From Hammond's first district, which is North Hammond and Robertsdale, Councilman Mark Kalwinski. Thank you very much, Councilman. From Hammond's 6th district, which is Hessville, Councilman Scott Rakos. Thank you very much, Councilman. He's a councilman at large, meaning he represents the entire city of Hammond. It's Councilman Dan Spitali. Thank you very much, Councilman. And last but certainly not least, she's the council president. She's also at large, Councilwoman Janet Vaness. Thank you for being here, guys. All right, so we're going to get our questions in. And now what we do is we're going to read off a question. So let's say your question is about the South Shore Line expansion. All right, we'll answer the question, and then we're going to be like, does anybody have any follow-ups to the South Shore expansion, right? If you're like, hey, my garbage didn't get picked up. That's not how it's supposed to work, right? That's supposed to be a separate question, right? But if you have a question about the South Shore expansion, raise your hand and we'll come to you, and we'll try to stay on topic that way. And then when we're done with the South Shore expansion, we move on, and we'll cover something else, okay? Thank you for coming to Mayor's Night. It's great to see Councilman Al. I agree with you. The 2nd District's kicking butt right now. It really is. There's a lot of great projects going on. I was just on a panel in Michigan City talking about the great things happening in downtown Hammond. It's pretty amazing what's going on there. We have a South Shore Line expansion that we're cutting the ribbon on, finally, on March 31st. The trains are going to start rolling on that day. The Gateway Station plays a key role in the expansion. So why don't we go ahead and take questions? But first off, does anybody have questions about the South Shore expansion? I sort of raised it myself. I know Councilman Al talked about it, and I think it's a good point that Scott brought up. We have 2 different ribbon cuttings coming up, 2 different groundbreakings. Well, a ribbon cutting for the South Shore expansion on the 31st. That's when the trains start rolling, okay? And then a groundbreaking in downtown Hammond, basically at Russell Street, at the end of Russell Street in the line, which is where we're going to be doing a groundbreaking for the new downtown Hammond train station. The funds are in place. It's already designed. We're literally going to start working on it next week. Dean, where are you?
Right here, Mayor.
Is that accurate? This is the city engineer, Dean Button.
We'll do a ceremonial groundbreaking. There'll be a little bit of delay for the contractor to start, and then we'll be right on it, probably close to the end of April.
How long does that project take?
So we have a completion date of June 30th of 27, so it's about 15 months.
15 months. And then presumably, they should be able to use that station after 15
Yes,
months?
sir. Yep, that's the plan.
And-
We're
and-
operational on June 30, 27.
And I tell you, you know, I've been mayor this is my 23rd year, and downtown Hammond wasn't always a hot spot for development. Councilman Salinas mentioned the Roberts Impact Lab. Purdue Northwest put $10 million of their own money into that lab. I was talking to the chancellor today, and I don't know, he was talking to a major defense contractor. They were in downtown Hammond just the other day. And they love downtown Hammond, don't get me wrong. They want to be that close to that quantum connection. And I'm sure downtown Hammond's wonderful, but they want to be close to that quantum connection, and that quantum connection happens to be in downtown Hammond. It's a wonderful opportunity that we face in downtown Hammond. Quantum is AI on steroids, from what I understand. It's eons faster than anything we have, and Hammond has one of those nodes right in downtown. That's an incredible opportunity. So between the train line and the huge investment that Indiana made in the train line to get from the Gateway Station all the way down to Munster, to Dyer, between that and that quantum connection that we have in downtown Hammond, listen, all of us were devastated when the hospital shut down, okay? But I tell you what, I think we're going to recover well. I really do. And sometimes it takes a while, and I want to point you to Woodmar Mall as an example. For those of you that are old enough to remember what Woodmar Mall was. Woodmar Mall was the place where we shopped, where we played video games, where we hung out, and it went away over the years. And when I took over as mayor, it was on his last gasps, okay? And for about 12, 13 years, people would come up to me and say, Mayor, what are you going to do with Woodmar Mall? It was one of the most often asked questions, and I didn't know what we were going to do. I just knew that if we keep working, maybe we will accomplish something big there. I have good news. I drove through there the other day, and I have a Hammond Sportsplex with 300 cars in the parking lot, jam-packed, right next door to the biggest Y in the United States of America. That was jam-packed. Like, we recovered well. It took a couple years, though. It didn't happen within 18 months. It happened over the course of a decade or plus. We will recover from the hospital, and it could be the Roberts Impact Lab that does it. And if it's not that, we have another plan on tap. So we're doing good work, guys. And the 2nd District seems to be the hot spot right now. And I'm happy to say that because we weren't able to say that for a long time. So thank you to partnership with Councilman Salinas. And it's good news for the residents of the 2nd District. And I'm going to stop talking for a second. I'm going to pass the mic off to Juan. Do you want to say anything about this that I'm missing?
Well, thank you, Mayor.
How you doing?
Good. This is Juan from Economic Development. Yeah, Mayor's spot on, and working, he's established such a great team with Economic Development, which makes my job real easy. The momentum is so strong, not only in 2nd District, downtown Hammond overall. Phone's always ringing off the hook. The difference between now and in the past there was a lot of footwork to go and attract businesses, and now it's basically Zoom and phone calls because we don't actually have to seek it, they're seeking us. So the excitement's there. Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. You know, Juan, when we went to Vegas, we have a booth. We represent our city. Hopefully, we'll be able to put a Bears logo on that this year. I think that would attract a lot more attention. But having a guy like Juan in our booth with us, he is not shy. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to talk to Juan. He is excellent at his job. And one of the reasons is he'll talk to anybody in this room, and he'll talk to you for 15 minutes. He just knows what's going on. I appreciate you, Juan. It's good
Thank
to
you,
see
Mayor.
And runs planning and development. And I talked a lot about downtown Hammond. I know since you were in Juan's role, and that was a big passion of yours.
Yeah.
Jeff Speck coming into downtown Hammond and redesigning the way we do business down there. You know, you got to feel pretty good now that we're, you know, cutting the ribbon on the train.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The groundbreaking for the downtown station.
That's right. Actually, Mayor, you spoke in front of about 400 people this morning in Michigan City.
Yeah.
With Mayor Angie, who's the mayor of Michigan City. And they talked about how Hammond and Michigan City are kind of bookends to Northwest Indiana.
Yeah.
You two spoke really well about your downtowns and how they're very similar. and their development, how great Michigan City is. It's really great to walk around and drive around that city, and how we're really emulating what they're doing down there with residential, commercial, hospitality, restaurants. I think we're doing really, really good in our city.
That's the goal for downtown. And we're here in the 2nd District, so let's talk about it. One of the things we recently passed through the Hammond City Council, was carried by your councilman, was the Riverfront District in downtown, right? The Riverfront District in downtown allows us to create a few more liquor licenses. And when you first hear that, you're like, oh, that's all we need is more liquor licenses, right? I'm not a big drinker, so that's sort of the attitude I took when I first heard about it. However, what you realize is we need more restaurants in downtown Hammond, and these liquor licenses have to be attached to restaurants. You can't just open up a bar. You have to open up a restaurant. And if you do, through this process, it's much cheaper than it is to buy one on the open market right now. And I know we have businesses. One business I signed the paperwork for today, Paradise Mototiki. Yeah, Paradise. Hi, Aubrey. Nice to see you. Signed that earlier today. She's the first at Paradise, which is located on Fayette in downtown Hammond. Aubrey, you want to give yourself a commercial real quick since I'm talking about you? 2nd District business that you're opening up, right?
Yes, we were open and now we're renovating. So hopefully, if everything goes perfectly with the liquor license paperwork, we're looking at reopening in June, July-ish. So we coffee shop, wood-fired pizza, tiki drinks, your escape.
Right there, right by 18th Street Brewery, right in the same.
Yep.
Right. Thank you very much, Aubrey. So I think between the Quantum Connection and Purdue Impact Lab, I think between the 8 Mile expansion that goes right through the heart of downtown, the brand new station downtown, the Gateway Station, and with the Riverfront District, you know, one of the questions today, Ann, was what signals are you sending to the community to let them know you're serious about downtown? Those are the signals. We're doing stuff. We hired Jeff Speck. It wasn't cheap. He's a nationally renowned planner. He came in here, gave us recommendations. We did them. That's why we hired him, right? We didn't hire him to get the plan, to put it on the shelf and say, one day we'll do that. No, we were implementing that plan based on expert recommendations. And I think downtown's flowing better. The parking, that was his idea, and it's working. I haven't seen anybody back into somebody else yet. But I really am optimistic about downtown Hammond. I have not been able to say that very much during the time I've been mayor, but like right now, there's tons of momentum in downtown Hammond. So if I were the 2nd District councilman, I'd be happy too, councilman. So yeah. Hey, Jaime, what's up? Oh my goodness, what am I talking about?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're the cornerstone.
We are the cornerstone of downtown Hammond. Let's give it up for the Hammond Water Department. This is Jaime Prieto.
So, thank you. So if some of you don't know, we did move our business office to downtown Hammond. It was the old People's Bank on 120 Rimbach. So we are no longer located on the corner of Columbia and 165th. So if you need to pay your bill, if you want to come in, an extra added benefit is we have a drive-through there. So if you're just coming in to pay your bill, you could stay in your car. The drop box is right next to it. You could still stay in your car instead of getting out of your car at the old building. So, yeah, we officially opened on St. Patrick's Day, and
all the kinks worked out.
There's still a few. Yeah. There's still a few, but everything's going really well.
Yeah, it's the old bank building in downtown.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So great news. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm sorry I forgot to mention that. So downtown Hammond. I don't know if anybody has any questions they want to follow up. Hi, Rich. How you doing?
As a resident of that area, I'm also now the president of the Harrison Park Crime Watch Group.
Congrats.
Thank you. And they've also asked questions about the downtown area, the construction project that's still ongoing with the roads. And also, they've noticed like the signage and the semis still keep coming down Holman and tearing up all the pretty light poles that we put up before. So just want to update on what we're doing about that.
Sure.
So phase 2 of Holman Avenue started last year. We're expecting to be completed by June. There's going to be about 6 weeks of a full closure between Russell and Clinton at that's the last phase of the project. So we're going to have about 6 weeks of full closure because we can't work in the median and under traffic in both directions. So that'll be done then. With regard to the lights and the traffic downtown, we've got a solution coming where we're going to try to do something to protect those bollards and then get those refit. So that's underway. We recognized it was a problem, and we're working to resolve those.
My staff has been paying a lot of attention to downtown Hammond too. I know that 2 people in my office were doing a walk in downtown Hammond along with Dean, and they had punch lists with them. So there's a lot of people living in downtown Hammond now, and we had like a mini mayor's night out there, and they had quite a few things they wanted us to look at, and we're following them up. So it's growing pains, but I think we're getting into an era now where downtown Hammond was a place of shopping, a place of jobs, theaters, and now it's like transitioning more into a place where people live and get on the train to go to Chicago or get off the train coming from Chicago. And the bank filled up within 2 months. I mean, 110 units like that filled up. So, I mean, it's wonderful. So anyway, if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and no other follow-ups to this, we'll go ahead and jump into the written questions. All right, thank you. By the way, thank you. It's a great crowd today. It's nice to see everybody. I appreciate it. So, hi, Eileen, how you doing?
Hi, Mayor. I'm good. How are you?
Eileen Ibarra is our special events coordinator, right?
Yes.
I was just making sure you're still there. So.
Am I still?
Yeah.
I'm like, do I have a job still?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
The reason I mentioned this is we made a big announcement. First off, a few big announcements. We started unveiling the Festival of the Lakes lineup, and that's one of, in addition to Mayor's Night Out and a number of other community events, Eileen's also the primary quarterback for the Festival of the Lakes.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And tough.
Yeah. Tell me about who we've announced so far.
So we've announced 3 headliners. What we've announced is Thursday night, Jelly Roll. It'll be a huge night. We're really excited. Sales
Jelly
have been
Roll,
going great.
Thursday night, biggest act we've ever booked, bar none, bar none. And just a little preview, we already sold $500,000 worth of tickets to that show. So people are like, oh, I'm gonna wait and get a ticket last second. No, you're not. Jelly Roll's gonna sell out. Get your ticket before it sells out. That one's gonna sell out. It's gonna be 14,000 people, right, Kevin? That's the number
Approximately, yeah.
Approximately, maybe 15. But anyway, so yeah, Jelly Roll, big show.
And we've also announced Friday night we'll be having The Offspring.
The Offspring Friday night, that's more my era. It's gonna be a great show. That's a free show. So Jelly Roll is a concert. Then we go back to the normal format for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are all free shows, right? You can still get your VIP experience to get close, but you can go for free.
Yes, purchase now, festivallakes.com.
Saturday, we're still working on one of the acts. And then Sunday, real big, by the way, big announcement on Sunday. I didn't
Huge
realize.
announcement. Yeah, so Sunday night, the fun thing about that, historically it's been Latin night, and we've kept it as is. We have Banda El Recodo.
What was that?
Banda El Recodo.
They played with us before, right?
Yes, this is actually their second time at Festival
It sounds
of
different
Lakes.
when I say it, I'll be honest
I
with
want
you.
I want to say the first time might have been like 2013. I think I
Yes.
was in college then.
I noticed there was a big pre-sale for that show. Like, you know, we keep track of ticket sales, and it was interesting. That was a pretty big night. I was pretty pleasantly surprised to see the tickets take off for that one. So, El Recodo, right?
Banda El Recodo.
That's how I say it. El Recodo. Yeah, it's a little slower. So,
Yeah, so we're excited. We still have 2 more nights to announce. So we'll be coming in the next few weeks.
and on Sunday, you always have more than just one act. You always have 3, sometimes even more than that, right?
Yeah, so typically it's one headliner, and then we do a lot of local Chicago talent.
Right.
And that's been great for us.
So we're working on Wednesday, and we're working on one more act on Saturday. We're almost ready to announce the full lineup. So Festival of Lakes is coming. Opening day for the Cubs is tomorrow. It's wonderful. We made it through winter, everybody. So, yeah. Cub fans, right? Yeah. All right, a couple. Yeah. Thank you.
So before I read the first question, Mayor, I do only have 3 questions. So I encourage if anyone wants to ask a question, please feel free to.
Yeah.
Again, I only have 3 questions.
I'll start
tonight.
freelancing. Nobody wants that. We already freelanced. We did the economic development downtown, right? The train, that's huge, starting this week. We did Andy, Key to the City. All right, so what do we got?
So a resident is concerned about the traffic lines on Sibley Boulevard by the Hammond Public Library. They're barely visible at night.
Okay. I ride my bike all over the city. That's one of my routes. I go right by the library on the bike trail. I know what you're talking about. Good point. Okay, so Dean and Felix, why don't you grab?
Hi, Mayor. How you
What's
doing?
up, Felix?
Yeah, we usually
This is Felix.
start.
Felix in charge of Public Works.
How you doing? We usually start painting in May, right after Memorial Day when the weather breaks. We'll have a night crew out doing like the intersections and all that, and then curbs during the days because it's kind of less congested and safer. So
Okay.
we'll be out there all summer.
So you get the whole city pretty much, or?
That's the plan. Yeah,
Really?
we do a pretty good job of.
You could cover the whole city like that in one season?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
absolutely,
great.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Dean, not much there for you, right?
No, it's maintenance.
Right.
Maintenance for the
You know
for
what
the
I got
roadway.
asked today?
Go ahead.
It's interesting. I was talking with a council person today, and the council person was like, why don't you make the bike trails, stop looking out there, you're giving away who I talked to. They asked, why don't you make the bike trails painted one color all the way through the whole city? And I said, that's funny. I actually brought that up to Dean before.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's-
I know they do it in Chicago.
Yeah, it's just the cost. It's
That paint
quite-
is like gold,
It's quite
right?
expensive to put that down, but it's funding that. We
Yeah,
we
you know,
do-
so like you'll see the bike trails sometimes are painted green. When you go downtown Chicago, it's like the yellow brick road, except for it's green. And you know that's the bike trail, and you just follow the green painted lines downtown. But what I've learned is it's extremely expensive, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not just normal paint.
We would need to provide apply for safety funding, which we can do certainly through NERC to get some federal money to do that, and that would be a good option. But we focused on conflict zones where.
Because we do have it, but
we
it's
have it
only-
around, right? It's 173rd and
Right.
165th on Holman. We did some along 173rd going east and west, but it's those high conflict zones where we've developed a right turn lane and the cars and the bikes sort of have to cross each other.
That's where
so
you
we
do it.
wanted to bring a lot of visibility to high conflict areas so
Gotcha.
that both the bikers and the vehicle operators are all seeing all that.
Cool.
Yep. Thanks, Mayor.
Any follow up to that? Sort of a niche question. So, all right.
What can be done to force landlords to make their tenants put their garbage cans away from the front yard and sidewalks? This resident has been complaining about it for 3 years on the 311 app.
Okay. So I'm sure that your code enforcement officer knows about it. So let's go to Bill. Where are you, Bill? Hi, Bill. How's it going?
Good evening, Mayor.
This is Bill Luter. Bill Luter runs Hammond's Code Enforcement Department. One thing I know about the officers, the code enforcement officers, and the boss, they usually know addresses because we have repeat customers, okay? It's the majority of our neighbors are doing everything appropriately, and then the ones that aren't, usually code enforcement knows about it. So I'd almost bet Bill probably knows even the address we're talking about right now.
Yeah, very possible. We do have a lot of repeat offenders with that. The ordinance says it has to be taken back after your garbage is picked up. But we do have to be careful with that. Some people have to put their garbage out the night before because they're leaving for work before it gets picked up. And then they don't get it until they get back from work. So if pickup is Tuesday, it should be gone by Wednesday is what I would expect. I haven't seen the 311 complaint. I've been in the position now since July of last year, and I haven't seen the 311 complaint. But I will speak with the inspector for the area, see if he's had those complaints. And we generally start with some kind of warning, give them notice that they got to do it. Then we start citing the landlord, and the landlord doesn't want to get his tenants to comply. We can get them in court and get a fine against them. So it's cheaper to have them get their tenants to comply than go to court.
All right, thanks, Bill. Hi.
On my block, all the properties on my block are rental properties,
Okay.
except for mine and one of my next door neighbors.
Okay.
And I've been complaining about this for over 3 years. I've done the 311 app. And now we have this new housing development that's being done behind my house.
Mhm.
And I think it's a bad, bad situation to come down my street and see all these trash cans lined up.
Okay. That's
So
a good
I
point.
just want something to be done about that.
Hold on.
Ma'am, if you can, I can see you there in the pink hat. If you can, stick around after the meeting and we'll talk and we'll make sure we get those addresses and get them addressed for sure.
We're going to be selling lots, to your credit. We're going to be selling lots to people right over there very shortly. And it seems like it's a neighborhood problem. It's not just one house, it's a majority of houses. And the only way, maybe a bunch of warning tickets, and then the warning tickets go away after a certain point, maybe. I mean, I'll let Bill figure out what we're going to do, but I appreciate you bringing that up. Any follow-up? Hi, Anthony.
Recently, there are a number of residents that's moving in from Illinois, from what I observed in the 3rd District of the City of Hammond. I think it's vitally important that anyone that oversees the 3rd District should be vocal and be informed of what takes place in the 3rd District. So in saying that, there are issues with some of the residents that are just throwing garbage throughout the entire district. And when I was councilman, I monitored that. So I don't know what's going on in regards to that, but I would hope that it get corrected. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony was the councilman of the 3rd District, so it's good to see you again, Anthony. Welcome back to Mayor's Night Out. Bill, I think this is something we should probably pay attention to.
Yes, absolutely.
Sounds like we have to break the whole neighborhood of a bad habit, and I think we are going to be selling lots over there very soon, so I appreciate you bringing it up. Make sure Code and me are copied on that one, okay? Are we on our last question? This is going to be the shortest Mayor's Night Out.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to do a commercial. I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask more questions, okay? Hi, Ann. How's it going? Good. I know we have a lot of great economic development projects going in the city right now. And
We do.
one of them, well, we have 2 big ones going. Scott, could you do an update on the school project also? But I'll start with Ann with the Crane project.
Okay.
That's right over there on basically just to the north of 150th.
Yep.
At
the corner of-
just to the south of the 150th.
Yeah, 150th and Calumet.
Yes, right.
We have a crane company from Alsip, Illinois, who would like to relocate there. They have about 100 employees that would come over. With the expansion, it'll go up to about 150. $25 million investment. It's about 7 acres of underutilized land, and they love that area.
So we're going to take unproductive land, it is, and I know,
Yep.
you know, Jack's crew used that land, and we relocated Jack's crew so that we could make it. Jack works with the Hammond Sanitary District and the sewer department. He has a fleet of guys. That's where they park. That's where they rallied every morning. They've agreed to relocate to the plant itself and do the same thing there, which freed up this property for us. Then we rezoned it. This company from Illinois moves in. They want to put $25 million, bring 100 jobs over, hire 50 more of us, and do business on that location. It's going to be producing tax revenue for your government, help them lower your taxes. Maybe one of your family members gets hired into the new location. That's in Hammond 2nd District right now. This is a typical, everybody's focusing on the Bears. I'm focused on the Bears too, don't get me wrong, okay? But the Bears is a typical example of what we're facing right now is, Councilman Anthony back there just brought up, there's a lot of Illinois residents that are moving into the 3rd District. I don't deny that, Councilman, they are. And there's a lot of Illinois residents moving into the 2nd District, and there's a lot of Illinois residents moving into the 5th District. There's a lot of Illinois businesses that are moving into Hammond as well, including the Bears potentially, okay? USCO is another example. This
That's
crane
right.
company is great jobs.
Absolutely.
Great company
Yep.
on unproductive land. We're literally in Hammond, we're basically shaking everything, trying to find acres so we could put these Illinois companies in those acreage. It's great for us. I'm not sure what's going on across the border though, but I'm happy for the city of Hammond. I think things are going well. Scott, I know you've been working real closely on the Riverside Christian, Riverside Christian
You
Academy?
got it right, Mayor. This is the old Spone facility, which was run and owned by Hammond Baptist for the past 25 years. They had a private transaction with a group representing Highland, Crown Point, and Ileana Christian to open a sister campus in the old Spone school site. So when I say it was a private transaction, the city didn't put any money. This was one Hammond Baptist selling directly to Riverside Christian.
K through 8, right?
It's going to start actually K through 5 this fall, and then they're going to, as the 5th graders age up, they're going to add grades, but it's going to be a K through 12 school. They will have all the grades there, probably around 1,100 students if it's full. Won't serve exclusively Hammond, but they have a bunch of kids that right now every day they get on a bus and go all the way out to St. John to Shoe Corner to Ileana Christian, and they're looking to be able to service some of those families much more locally. And, Mayor, one of the things you might recall when we heard about this project is at our annual Realtor Breakfast, the number one thing that we heard from the realtors about a year and a half ago was they wanted school choices. And we can debate the merits of it. I certainly did for a long time as a public school educator against school choice, but it's a reality, and our families want it. And we're not going to be up here and judge our families. They want it. They want choices.
Those are facts.
So,
Scott.
yeah.
The vouchers, look, I stand in Bishop Noel Institute. This school is thriving. Paul, fair? It's thriving, okay? I've been mayor for a long time. Bishop Noel wasn't always thriving, all right? In fact, there was a lot of times we were worried about Bishop Noel, all right? Bishop Noel's thriving right now because of the voucher program and because of the school choice issue. And this thing is, it's funny because I'm a Democrat in Indiana, and my party doesn't support vouchers because they support public schools, and I get it. But I don't think that's a winning issue personally because, as Scott said, our residents want the vouchers because you want to be able to send your kid to Bishop Noel or to St. John the Baptist or to St. John Bosco or to Riverside Christian Academy. That's where we are. And if we're not giving our residents what they want, they're going to leave. I've seen it. I don't want you guys to leave. I want you to stay here and help us. So we're trying to keep you here. That's what this is all about. It's another choice. It is. It's more competition. Sounds like for Bishop Noel a little bit, because going K through 12, I'm not sure how much they'll challenge Bishop Noel because it's an established high school. But I know that there are some schools that aren't crazy about this proposal, but I think the Hammond residents are crazy about this proposal because it just gives you one more option. And that's in Hammond 2nd District also. These are projects in the 2nd District. The bank, who wants to talk about that one? Downtown Hammond. I already talked about it a little bit. Juan? Juan's like, I wasn't ready to talk about the bank.
I was trying to hide, Mayor. No, I'm okay. No, so the bank, that great project. It was an old historical bank building, repurposed and developed. $25 million project. $25 million turned this bank, 9 floors, right, of executive offices into 100 residential units. Fully occupied. They were projecting to fully occupy the 100 units within 12 months. It was fully occupied within 4 months.
These are market rate apartments too.
Market rate, yes, and has its own designated parking, and it also has a commercial ground floor where it has the Brew Box coffee shop, and it has a venue available for rent for weddings, special events, big events. Yeah, right there, $25 million investment, City of Hammond.
How about this one? Anybody want to talk about the LaSalle Hotel? And LaSalle Hotel, we all know LaSalle Hotel. That's been a fixture in our city for longer than I've been mayor, 50 years. And we got good news for the LaSalle Hotel.
We do. We have
It's not
developed.
going to be a hotel anymore, right?
No, it's going to be 24 1- and 2-bedroom apartments and 2 commercial spaces. One of them will be a restaurant. It just closed to developers last Thursday.
And these developers are young go-getters.
Young go-getters,
They've been successful in
region-based, successful in Hammond, and all the way out to South Bend.
Yeah, they're
good guys.
Good
Yeah, I'm
guys.
very, very excited.
All this is happening in downtown
Yeah,
or in the 2nd District. So
Really exciting.
Councilman brought it up at the beginning of the meeting, and I agreed wholeheartedly. It seemed, we said that at the beginning of his term. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of stuff happening in the 2nd District right now, and it's all coming to fruition. This week, we're going to cut the ribbon on the train. That's the big one. Oh, yeah. St. John Bosco? St. Joe's, yes, it's still open downtown, right? All right, so I gave you guys plenty of time to catch up. Let's check out the written questions. I mean, sometimes mayor's night out are short. Let me tell you something I've learned. If I'm having long mayor's night out, it's usually not the best thing ever, right? It's because you're all mad about something, right? So I take it as sort of flattering, all right? So, and I will, after this, I want to let you know one last thing before we get to the question. The Bears we're sort of dangling in the air right now with the Bears, okay? We knew it was going to be, once our legislature adjourned, made the offer to the Bears, an awesome offer. I don't even think Illinois is going to match our offer, okay? I don't think Illinois can match our offer, all right? But if they do match our offer and the Bears do accept it, the Bears will lose so much money. The Indiana made it one of those famous Godfather lines, an offer you can't refuse. They did. The Bears will lose billions if they don't choose Indiana. And maybe they're so wealthy they don't need to worry about losing billions. But Indiana is the smart play for them. And so we all knew that, the Bears, it's in their fight song, Pride and Joy of Illinois. I mean, if they move here, we got to change the fight song. There's a lot of challenges we have ahead of us, right? So one of the challenges is the Bears are giving Illinois a chance to keep them. They are. And I think we can all understand that, right? So Illinois is in session right now, their legislature, and they're adjourning at the end of April. And if there's no offer by the end of April, I think we're going to be doing another ribbon cutting, okay? And it's right now, there's key deadlines coming up in Illinois that it's challenging for them. It doesn't seem like things are going well right now, today. And I'm praying for dysfunction. Because if they fall apart, we win, guys. And the Bears are coming to Hammond, Indiana, which is crazy, which means that all of our city logos are going to, you guys ever go down to Bourbonnais when the Bears were in Bourbonnais? You went by every water tower, you went by every billboard, what'd you see? Bears logo. That's what our city's going to look like if they come here. It's one of the most recognized brands in the world, and they're choosing Hammond, Indiana, if this goes right. So things are going incredible for us. I wish I could say that's in the second. It's in the first district. That would be that'd be a cool theme, but it's awesome for all of us. The Bears, if they choose Hammond, it's like 10,000 construction jobs to build the stadium. If they choose Hammond, it's like 2,000 permanent jobs. There's going to be people that work for the Chicago Bears that live in your neighborhood. It's a game changer for us. So just keep praying for Hammond, Indiana, okay, everybody? Yeah. So all
You
right.
even wore your Bears colors, Mayor.
Oh, this is my Bears tie. I wore it because I gave a speech today and I wore the Bears tie. I had to buy this sucker. It was $50, so. So.
This one's a little loaded, so I'll
Okay.
break it up a bit. A residence neighborhood has had a high influx of renters recently with a lot of turnover with renters coming and going. Homes and properties do not appear to be a priority. It's affecting the general appearance of the neighborhood. Are there any regulations surrounding the number of rental properties that are in a city?
I don't think so. Right, that doesn't seem legal.
I mean, fair housing laws
Right.
prevent that. I mean, there aren't any regulations over the number of rentals. Obviously, I can tell you over the 23 years the mayor has been the mayor that the administration has turned around the numbers from what it used to be. I mean, we used to be battling, and I know Rich knows this because it's his neighborhood, and I know Councilman Al knows this, is that there were so many cut-ups in and around like Harrison Park and up and down near State Line off of Homan and other places around the city. And a guy named Jim Callahan, who some of us have been around a while know, and he's passed on, but Jim just fought and fought and fought to get rid of those cut-ups. And now, I mean, Rich knows, he's the inspector for the 2nd District. They're few and far between. So I think it's a battle we're still.
You know what's incredible, Kevin? The fact you said that was a common, when we first took over, there was cut-ups everywhere. And it was like a constant battle. We were getting sued. I bought this building, it had 3 units, but it's one house. It's like, you can't do that. I'll never forget this. When I first became mayor, there was a fire in the 3rd District time, and we all showed up to the fire, and a whole family died in the basement. And they couldn't get out because their wooden staircase burned away. And there's no getting out if you have no staircase out, and they all just died. And it made an impact on that young mayor. I was like, dang, we have to get rid of these things. They're death traps. So when we do cite a cut up, I mean, the landowner's usually furious with us. I'm never voting for you again, but we're saving lives by doing that. And what Kevin brings up, it was prevalent in the 2nd District then. It was prevalent all over the city. And that's something that, inspections has been battling for decades.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to mention is I think we all understand that a lot of times rentals are a lot different than homeowner-owned places. They don't keep up necessarily as much as homeowners do. And so the key there is really enforcement. And so I'm sure Eileen will pass that message along to the inspections department, and that street will get a good look because we can enforce, and we just need to know where that's happening, and we'll get on it, I'm sure.
Mayor, you want to mention too how College Bound was also to encourage home ownership?
Yeah, sure. Sharon, how you doing? Sharon's like, Scott.
Thank you.
Sharon is personnel, but amongst her jobs is she's also runs a College Bound Scholarship Program and has for.
This is going to be the 11th or
Scholarships.
12th class, that high school graduating class that I'll do this year.
Okay, 12.
And I am lucky to have one of my board members here, Paul Mulaney, has served for a while on our board too.
So thousands of people have gone through the program. Do you
Yes.
know 3,000, 2,000?
4,000 to 5,000 students, like scholarships.
And since the beginning of the program, we spent over $50 million, I believe, on college scholarships.
Yes.
And that's, so a lot of people look at that as a loss. What, you spent $50 million? Okay, true. But how much of that came back? Because I have people that work for us that are brilliant, that are college bounders. Is anybody college bounder
Oh,
up here?
there's quite a few in
Okay,
here.
good. You know, all right, thank you. Thank you for raising your hand. I appreciate it. We hire college bounders, but not only that, a lot of families, I don't want to point to any family. I know a family that I thought was teetering right around the same time this program came out, and there's multiple kids in that family. And when you're in a situation like that, and maybe you were thinking about moving out, but then you're like, you know, I have 3, 4, 5 kids, and this scholarship gives you $10,000 a year per kid, and I suddenly have my entire college fund paid for if I stay in Hammond, or I can move to Munster and start over again. A lot of people said, forget it, I'm staying in Hammond. So what they did was they turned around and they reinvested in their house, because if you're going to stay there another decade or so, you want to fix the windows up, you want to fix the front door. I don't know how much that came back to us over the years, but I don't feel like that's a loss in any stretch. And by the way, educating our city even better, sending more kids to college, I think is a worthwhile goal. So, and that is geared towards homeownership, like Scott said.
And then we have the community service component too. That
Which I love.
They give back to the city for their scholarships, so it helps. You know, Sportsplex is a big employer of our college-bound students. Festival of the Lakes has a lot. Parks Department, Marina, so they help offset some of our part-time.
Councilwoman Joanne Matanovich, that was her idea. I remember when she came up with it, because at first we were doing it, we were giving you the money, you had to own a house, didn't matter where your kids went, your kids had to get certain grades, and then boom, you got the money. And then Councilwoman Joanne at the time said, why don't we make them do community service or something? And we're like, oh, that's not a bad idea. We inserted it in there. And what I didn't realize was the opportunity that would create for us in meeting these amazing kids. We meet them. They work in my office. They're sitting there for a full week in my office. And then, you know, you meet them as a freshman, they come back as a sophomore. By the time they come back as a junior, you're like, I want to hire you when you graduate. And we do that a lot. We meet them during their internship, and then we hire them when they graduate. And they come to work for your city. It's an awesome opportunity. I'm 57 years old. I don't get to meet, 18, 19, 20-year-olds very often, right? But this is a great way for us to get in touch with them and hire the best. And that's
Christy's a good example of that. She did College Bound and then Christy.
Yeah. Christy, in my office. I didn't want to put you on the spot. I didn't meet you that way, right? Oh, wow. So Christy's awesome. Yeah. But anyway, it's a great program. We love very much. It's important. And I look around the room and I know a number of you whose families participated in this program, and it's a lifesaver for many people. Tons of first-generation college students went to college on that program. So.
And deadline is Thursday, July 2nd. I'll
What's
just
that?
get that plug in. Thursday, July 2nd.
The deadline.
The deadline.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Going back to our original topic,
Yes, what was that?
the influx of renters in the neighborhood.
Yes.
So who is responsible for the upkeep of the home or the property? Is that the renter or is that the owner?
I think it's the landlord personally. I imagine that's how you guys approach your job, right, Bill?
Yes, it is the landlord or property owner's responsibility to upkeep the properties.
So I have a building in Hammond. I have 3 tenants in my building, okay? I imagine if there's a problem with that building, I would be the one that gets the red tag, right? But
Right,
if it's
we-
something my tenants were doing to make me get the red tag, that's my problem between me and the tenants, right?
That is correct.
Like if they're not taking out the garbage or if they're letting the place look like crap, that's an issue between the tenant and the landlord, but it's the landlord's responsibility.
Yes, we're dealing with a landlord right now with a sign issue. He's got his tenant there, and it's a business. They've got all the windows covered with different advertisements. Really brings the neighborhood down. Talk to the landlord. He's like, well, it's not my problem. Yes, it is. It's your building.
Good.
So that's currently going through a court
Because
process.
it's unreasonable to think that we're going to chase down everybody's tenants, you know?
Correct.
We know who you are if you're the landlord.
We can cite the tenant for the violation, but ultimately it comes down, if we get to the point where we have to get a judgment and place it on a property, we have to cite the property owner.
Makes sense. Sure.
Sometimes the tenant may destroy the property or it looks horrible, and if you're not a landlord
sir.
just on the ground running and keeping up with your property, you wouldn't notice it. But how long does it actually?
It's a great question, Councilman. I
Once they
appreciate
get
it.
a citation, how long does it take before they get in court?
That's a frustrating thing, and I appreciate you bringing this up. So back in the day when we used to cite for weed liens, I think we're doing a lot better job doing that now. So let's say Rich calls up and says, my neighbor isn't mowing their lawn. The lawn's 2 feet long. Do something about it, Mayor. I'm like, you got it, Rich. I'm on it. Then I send code enforcement out there. Code enforcement goes out and says, yep, grass is 2 feet long, and they cite you, right? You got rights. You still get to hire a lawyer. You could probably request continuances, Kevin, right? How long could a homeowner in a situation like that stretch that out for?
I mean, I think the inspectors will tell you that the judge that we have on Russell Street is pretty good about maybe giving one continuance, but then they want to see progress, and they want to see, they give you a chance to say, okay, are you gonna fix your house up, you're gonna cut your lawn, whatever it is, but then by the time you come back, if it's still not, she's gonna pound you, and it's gonna hurt in the pocketbook,
But
and,
it
then
does-
and it goes on your taxes, by
But
the
it
way.
does take.
Yeah, it still takes 60 to 90 days.
Okay,
You know,
so the frustrating thing for us is this. This goes back to Anthony's question. Rich calls in, says my neighbor's got 2 feet grass. I send out code enforcement. I'm on it, Rich. I send code enforcement out there. They cite him.
But the one thing, Mayor, you've done, and this is something you had us change,
Sticker up.
is the mayor said, because this was happening, we were in meetings in City Hall, and the mayor was like, Kevin, everybody, this is taking too long. How do we fix this? So we looked at what some other communities were doing, and we instituted this pink sticker. Is it pink? Yeah, pink sticker. If you see a pink sticker on your neighbor's house, that lawn's going to get cut in 10 days.
So, but before we did the pink sticker, sorry. Before we did that, you would all think that we weren't doing our job because the grass just kept growing and nothing was happening. We were waiting for the court to work itself out. Now at least we put that sticker up so you could drive by it. Rich is like, the pink sticker is there. Mayor followed up my complaint. And it takes us even some time after that. But once you see that sticker go up, good things are on the way. Cool. Yes, sir. Okay. Thanks for the question. Any other?
Many solicitors are asking about purchasing residence homes. Why might that be?
What was that?
Many solicitors are asking
I
about
get those
purchasing
too.
a residence home.
I get them too.
Why might that be?
I think Hammond's a hot market. I remember when we were going through tough times after the 2008 financial crisis, and we were going through tough times, and there's homes going for like $30,000, and I'd see signs going up. It was embarrassing, right? Now here we are, a totally different situation. I had, just talking to somebody the other day, flipped their home. They were in their home for 4 years. They made almost 100% of the money back on their home, and then they moved into a bigger home. Just the other day I was talking to the person. Hammond's housing market's hot right now, and I don't think it's cooling down. I think it's only getting hotter. Going back to the comment made earlier, I have a lot of Illinois residents that are moving in and blah, 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 blah. The Bears are talking about moving here. The crane company's moving here. It's like the more that stuff happens, the more that price of your house goes up, which also drags your assessed value up, which is another problem we're dealing with, because there's some people on fixed incomes that are like, Mayor, I don't want the Bears to come here. You're going to make my house worth too much, and my taxes are going to go up, and I'm going to have to move. That's a different problem. You know, I think one of the primary jobs I have is to make your house more valuable. That's what I'm trying to do. And unfortunately, when I make your house more valuable, you'll love it the day you sell your house, but in the meantime, your assessed value creeps up along with the value of your house, which makes it more expensive to live in, okay? But I try to remind everybody that houses, I've been using the example, if the Bears move to town, your house is worth $100,000. Bears move to town, your house turns into a $200,000 house. What that means for you, though, is your taxes bill went from $1,000 to $2,000, and some people don't have that extra $1,000. And they're like, Mayor, would you stop it? You're killing me, right? You know, I think you just have to understand what my job is. My job is to raise that value, to make this community more livable. And the one day that you finally do sell that house, it's going to be worth a lot of money. That's what we're trying to do. And I do understand that there's people struggling, and especially with utilities and taxes. I know that's tough right now, but I think that's my job, is to try to build wealth in this city, and that's what I've been trying to do. So,
Mayor, if I can,
Sure.
one of the other reasons you're seeing a lot of those advertisements asking, I got one today. Whenever I get a text message or a phone call, I say $2 million.
nice.
I've got to relocate my family. I've got to find another house, $2 million.
I like it.
But the reason you're getting those is because there's not as many vacant properties and houses sitting around Hammond. They've been bought up, they've been fixed, they've been turned hopefully into owner-occupied homes. So now these people that were generally buying these houses, like Mayor said, for $3,000-$4,000 at the tax sale or at the sheriff's sale, well, now they've got to find another way because the inventory's dried up. So that's why they're coming to individual homeowners trying to send a mass mailer. It's like getting it from a car dealership or anything else. That's really all they're trying to do is drum up business.
Thank you.
I found one that was missing. Sorry.
Okay.
A resident from Golden Manor is interested in speaking afterwards. But the next question and last question is, are there any vouchers or grants available for residents whose basements floods when it rains?
Where's my other? Where did we leave off on that? I know that last I heard, last flood event we suffered, I know that Awana created a program. Awana's here? Yeah, good. Created a program where we used community development money to help pay for the check valves that go into your basement, right? I think, and Jack, could you grab a microphone?
Yes.
Jack, that's preventative, right? If I do the check, what's that called again? I call it check valve.
It's a backwater valve.
The backflow preventer.
Yes,
If I put that in my basement, you're 99% sure it solves the problem, right?
that's correct. You just got to make sure that you maintain it. Once a year, you take it apart, you clean it. It's just rinsing it off and putting it back together, and
Right.
you're ready to go.
So I guess the answer to that question technically is yes, technically, because you could participate through Awana's program, insert the backflow preventer into your basement, and you'll never flood, right?
Correct.
But the problem is this. Most people don't do this, including me. I'm the mayor. This created this program. I don't have a backflow preventer in my basement, okay? Which means if we have a horrible rains and it overflows our system, my basement could flood. But I learned my lesson. The last time I flooded, I stopped putting nice stuff in my basement. That's just what we do. I realize not everybody's got the same option, right? So I know that we've had a couple floods. I know that we've made some funding available, nothing significant, more like, mops and stuff like that. Awana, am I covering this fairly well?
Yes, with the backflow valve program, we can, if you get the valve inside your house, then we can pay up to $3,500 to cover the cost. If it's outside, then we can pay up to $5,000 for low-income individuals. You have to meet the income guideline.
What if they don't meet the income guidelines?
Then it goes back to.
Okay,
goes
something
to
like
the
that would
district?
be, we'll just say the average is $3,500.
Okay.
So the sanitary district will reimburse you. If it's a licensed and bonded plumber that's in Hammond, we will reimburse you up to $2,000. So technically, that's only $1,500 coming out of your pocket. But with that being said, you want to protect your assets in your basement. So if you have a finished basement, $1,500 to protect $40,000 worth of investment in your basement
Right.
is well worth it. It's well worth it.
Do you have one in your basement?
I have a cross space,
Okay, good.
no basement.
Hi, Rich.
I had mine put in after the.
Did you? It was covered by the city?
Yes, it was.
Nice. And before I get to Anthony, the storms in Hammond, we've created our system over the last decades. We've built this system that handles X amount of gallons, and what we're seeing is the environment's changing on us. The storms are getting more violent. There's more intense waterfall that happens. And I tell you, when we are having these drenching downpours, you got to keep an eye on your basement, okay? I get PTSD when it starts raining too hard because
Mayor?
it's the most helpless feeling in the world when you flood.
What Mayor is saying, also, you got to keep in mind, if you have a flooded street, please leave the water on the street. It will not cause property damage. If it does, we have a phone number that you can call. We send somebody out. Once you pull the cover, you take that chance of that cover falling into a structure and somebody going out there and falling in and hurting themselves.
But not just that, though, Jack. Let's say there's 2 feet of water on the street in front of your house.
That could be in somebody's basement.
That could be in somebody's basement. It's better
in
on the
the-
street than in somebody's basement. So a lot of times those leaves are saving you. Keeping the water on the street, I realize it looks bad, but our system's overloaded in situations like that. So if we can keep the water safely out of the system, give our system a chance to catch up, and then let the water leak into it, it's better. Because if our system overfills, it's like when you fill up a bathtub, just flows over, and it
Mayor,
goes right into our basements.
Back in the mid-'90s, when we didn't have that basin that was out there, the water that was on the street would guarantee to be into your basements. So you're looking at
Thank
a
you
couple
for bringing
thousand
that up.
houses with basement flooding, and we would have to go there and do an inspection on every one of those houses that call in. So, and that has, like this year, I know we've had a couple intense rainstorms. We have had 0 people call in for basement backup.
But we're also filling up that basin.
That's
and we're
correct.
using it as
That's a
an
lifesaver.
overflow, basically, and that's water that could have been in your basement. We didn't have that option. And what EPA is forcing Hammond to do is build more of those into the future. We're going to have to improve our system a lot more, which is going to cost us money. This stuff is coming. It's the US EPA. We can't say no. That basin that we have in the 2nd district right by the plant is going to be replicated. We'll at least probably have one more, and we'll also have something called the CMDF facility. All of this will work together to even improve our system more so we don't have basement backups. But our system it's a great system, but unfortunately when you get those intense storms, sometimes it backs up, so we have to protect ourselves. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
I'm aware of that as well. I mean, for a number of years, being born and raised in Hammond, we've had issues with flooding. It's very impressing that the fact of this information being brought out today, I applaud you for bringing that up, because that should be distributed throughout the community. And now I can make the residents within my district aware of that, because I didn't know it was
Thank
a
you.
program available for
Yeah,
that. So I appreciate that.
And Anthony, if they're income qualified, like if it's a senior on a fixed income, is it the entire thing pretty much covered, Awana?
Yes.
Like the entire backflow preventer, and it's a woefully short, the number of people that participate in that program. And it's a fix. It's a fix. It's just people aren't doing it.
I mean, the reality of it is, even though I don't sit on the council seat, Mayor, I have to be honest, people call me night and day for every issue you can imagine. So I applaud your efforts in letting me know, and I will let them know that these are the options they have available. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it.
Mayor, I got one more thing.
Sure.
Also, if any of our inspectors happen to go out to a house that is having backup and it is due to a homeowner's issue, we do have a form that we do send out with them so they can investigate and check out the program that we have.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Alex, you got a question?
It's not pertaining to this, but it's
All right, let's
on
go.
a different subject. Okay.
Hi. How you
Hey,
doing,
Mayor.
bud?
Hey, so I still have an issue with Public Works with the garbage liquid
Okay.
going into my garage.
I remember you
I
being in-
remember, yeah. I did report it on the Hammond 311 3 times, and it seemed like they only came out this last time. They didn't do
So
nothing the
this is
first
the
2 times.
situation. This gentleman, and you live on like a corner or something, right? When they turn,
No,
and
I
it dumps
stay,
out.
my house is like in the alley.
It's in the
Like,
alley, and
on-
then
on-
it's like there's something about when they do the turn right by your house. So what happens is when we put our garbage in the garbage can, the garbage has a lot of liquids, and then it gets put into the garbage truck, and they smash it, and all the liquids have to go places, and it leaks out of the truck. And then the trucks go down to alleys, and it leaks this liquid, and it smells like garbage, like intense garbage, right? And this gentleman is having, it seems like there's something about your particular location. It seems like it comes out there, right?
Yes, and it goes into my garage, and then you can smell it throughout my house.
That's
And I
no
have
bueno.
complained with Hammond 311 app, and it
Mhm.
seems like it's still the same issue. So I was just seeing if there's like another resolution to this, or what can we do?
I gave the look to Felix. He knows that. He knows that look. It's like we need to do something, right? Felix.
Yeah, I mean, this
You
is
spent a lot of time on a garbage truck,
this,
right?
Yeah, this is a ongoing issue. I mean, it's based on, multiple things like the liquids in your cans. Could be from what your neighbors throw out, could be from rain. It's really just, it's what happens. It's nothing personal. I could go check it, see if they could, compact a little further down the alley, but then again, you're kind of just giving the problem to your neighbor. So, it happens.
Could they
to
do
me,
it on the
happens.
street? Could they?
No, because they have to
Yeah.
constantly keep compacting the garbage as they go down the alley. So
All right, do me a favor.
the
Could you guys
pressure-
talk after this?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Thanks. You don't mind, sir, coming over and talk to Felix? Maybe Scott could help out, and we could try to figure something out here. Because when people start following me around mayor's night to mayor's night, I have to do something. So this gentleman's been to a couple mayor's night, and that's why we do this. And I appreciate that. Honestly, this is public service. We have to go out in the public. You're like, you have a problem, you're bringing it up. We need to do something about it. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, Scott, could you help me on that? I will. Thanks. Because he'll be back next month, I promise you.
In May.
Did somebody call
All
for me?
done. No, he'll be back in May, our next
May?
Mayor's Night Out.
The next Mayor's Night Out, 3rd District Mayor's Night Out, it's going to be May 13th at the Hammond Sportsplex, May 13th. And then, I don't know if we break for the summer after that one, or if we're doing one more after that. I don't remember, but is that the last question?
Yes, that's the last question.
2nd District, there's a million things happening in your district right now, and it's all real positive. I'm proud to be your mayor. I appreciate your councilman. You sent a good councilman to work with us, and we appreciate that. I appreciate you all, and I promise, and congratulations again to Chief Andy Short on the key to the city. Congratulations. And thank you all for coming to Mayor's Night Out. Take care, everybody. See you in May.